I remember my own reaction
Yeah.
when it happened, when the towers went down, and I just was amazing to me that you guys could take this on and not only deal with this, but be in the movie every day.
Yeah.
Seems like that'd be a lot to take on as an actor.
Yeah, it was intense. I mean, every day you're sort of reminded of this time, and I think, you're constantly sort of thinking back to where you were in the world when it happened and your reaction, and then you're talking about people, or with the real guys who were on this mission and their experiences and their sort of feelings around it at that time, and it was certainly intense. Yeah.
I mean, but there was like elements and levels of revelations where, like, at first, like, you read the story and then you realize, I'm like, oh, it's based on a true story, and then like doing a sort of table read where you hear it out loud as to what they did is another revelation, and then when you're actually having to go on set and they put you in positions where, like, that's what these guys did. I mean, it just becomes more and more of an amazing, like, these amazing facts of what these men actually went through and what they actually did on the day, and not only that, but the elements that they had to challenge. Weather being one of them. Like, where it was really, really cold for those guys, and then nutrition, obviously, lack of sleep. Like, these guys are heroes.
They had no idea they were going to be riding horses. I mean, you got to think back to when this happened. There was it's not like the internet now and the information and abundance of sort of knowledge we have on that area in this sort of conflict and what was going on. It was very limited knowledge. They basically just said, yep, I want to go, sent them in there. And, then they were like, basically there's $100,000 on each of your heads. And the tribes, the local tribes you're going to link up with, hopefully don't cash you in, and it was just every day it was sort of looking over the shoulder and forming these relationships and who do I trust, who don't I trust, and then it was, by the way, we fight on horseback, so here's a horse. None of them knew how to ride except my character, and so it almost sort of comical, this sort of an unbelievable, every sort of added, weight of this experience that they had. It was shocking.
It must have been great to have them on set and to develop a relationship with the real guys. Yeah. That must have been eye-opening.
It was, and a huge amount of pressure too. You're constantly sort of second-guessing yourself, and it's not, like you've sort of drummed up this character in your head and off you go. You've got to kind of, you want to do them proud, you want to do the story proud.
I love that he was saying second guessing and then looked right at me. I'm like, what does that mean, dude?
Yeah.
Second guessing yourself.
That was like, you talking
he's talking about it.
like Michael.
I second guess myself all the time. No, but it was good because what's funny is that their memory was so vivid. It was unbelievable. Like, they understood each and everything, and probably because they're so used to writing everything down and documenting everything. But they give you like a rich visual of what was going on at that time, and those guys were just, they were vital.
One of the things that struck me watching this film is just how emotional it is. You can't not have a reaction.
Sure.
Stepping in as an actor. How do you deal with that emotion? Do you have that, or can you separate yourself from it?
No. I think you want to give yourself over to it. You want to, that's how you tell a good story.
Yeah.
And so, you want to embrace it. You want to embrace every aspect of it, the emotion and what the motivations are and where people are coming from. I have a personal connection to this story, so I knew what a lot of these people were feeling. I played Lieutenant Colonel Now, when I was a young captain, I served in Afghanistan in November of 2001. I flew over from Central Command and joined the 3rd Battalion, 5th Special Forces Group, and I worked directly for Lieutenant Colonel Max Bowers on his command element, and now I'm playing Lieutenant Colonel Max Bowers in the movie. So I know the guys from this unit. I know the guy I'm playing personally. I reported to him, and I briefed him in the morning, and I briefed him every evening. So I know the man.
You can't do any better preparation than that.
Pretty much it.
Well, what's the challenge of that? Is that harder to play a character you actually know?
No, it wasn't, because to me, I was fortunate because I got there, like I said, at the end of November. They had done this mission in October time frame. I was in Mazar-e Sharif with these guys, and so I had heard the stories and I had talked with them and got to meet them and know them. So I felt connected to this particular story. And when I read the book, you know, I remember reading the book and seeing names and places and being like, oh my God. And I'd met General Dostum, you know, in Mazar-e Sharif. And so it was interesting and nice for me because it was something that I had a personal connection to.
How did the cast bond together? Because I feel like in a movie like this, you have to bond.
Sure.
You just have to, or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Did you find that here?
Yes. For the small part I was with them.
Yeah.
All my stuff was shot in garrison, so I was in the rear, you know.
You didn't
and
get to be there.
They were out in the field, you know. But I do know that they had a deep appreciation for the story. And they are all professionals, and they're all good, funny guys. You know, so it was easy for them, I think, to bond. What I saw from you know, the time I was around them, everybody was enjoying each other, which helps tremendously.
I think you need to bring, when a story like this, you need to bring in humor.
Yeah.
At least a little.
Because
bit.
you
I think
gotta
everyone remembers where they were
Yeah.
when 9/11 happened too.
And nobody jokes around more than soldiers and Marines and sailors, and you know, it's, call it gallows humor, call it whatever you want to call it, but it's how you let tension out. It's how you release things. You can't be heavy and terrified all the time. You know, you have to make it light. That's how you get through the day.
Well, let's start with that. I mean, how, after doing Moonlight, how did that change your career?
I mean, I kind of didn't have one. I did. That sounds ridiculous. I did, but now people appreciate the work a little more, so you get more looks.
How did that lead you into getting involved
Strong?
with this film, 12 Strong?
It was directly, because, I mean, we were doing Moonlight Press whenever, you know, I was approached by, you know, everybody involved in the film to look at the script and, you know, do whatever. And so it was directly correlated to that, and, you know, we just jumped right into it.
This is a movie that I think would be, I was talking to Rob, it just seems like it'd be emotionally, for me, watching it was just emotional experience. For you guys, it must have been kind of intense to tell this story. How did you approach it with this character and telling this?
Yeah. Before getting into that, so the first day of actual shooting, Mark and Bob, the two characters that Chris and Shannon play, they were on set with us. They were on set for a while, and it was great because, you know, you get the experience from the people who have the real perspective. But they presented us with a piece of the Twin Towers. Yes, exactly. And man, that was like emotion, like, man, because we were all just trying to figure out who we were and, you know, rehearsing and everything. And then, I don't know, Mark comes up and he was like, I wanted to save this, but boom. And then it was, I don't know, it was mind-blowing.
Wow, I got chills.
Yeah, I know, I see your eyes.
I got
That's
chills,
beautiful.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, to deal with that, to tell the story is phenomenal.
Yeah, and, you know, and yeah, so you, at the same time, you try to put that in the back and just be present and be here with your brothers and be, you know, do what you're supposed to do so that people can experience it, you know, hopefully like you expect them to or want them to. But yeah, man, just to have that in the back of your mind the whole time. And then, you know, afterwards, being able to look back at that and be like, wow, I was a part of something that's, and this is a unique thing because I was alive, obviously.
Yeah.
So my perspective and my view is very particular because I was 11 years old and, you know, I remember how frantic it was, and now I have this perspective of it being this, I mean, of this person's perspective of how they initially reacted, how we initially reacted. I don't know, man. It was flattering and it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was everything.
So you were 11. Do you remember your
I remember
reaction?
like vividly the day. Like I remember everything. I remember when my mother came to school, how everybody was running around, and man, and then she saw me. She gave me a hug, and we went home. And then I didn't leave the house for 3 days. You know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's insane how obviously, you know, it wasn't long ago. And
At
we're
all.
still, it's almost hard to tell a story now because it feels like just yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. And the performance with you guys, how much training did you guys have to go through to physical and all that?
We had, as a unit, we had maybe about 2 weeks of you know, abbreviated version of Ranger Camp and, you know, all that good stuff. So it was intense, you know. It was all 10 to 12 hours a day, just knocking it out from one thing to the next, but it was good.
You taking me to school again?
And picking you up.
Daddy.
2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack.
What is that, a part of some drill?
Ain't no drill.
19 men attacked our country. The 12 of you will be the first ones to fight back. How do you love your family and leave them to go to war?
I have 2 hours. I'll be really quick.
Not a chance. Holding out is the only way I can guarantee you come back to me.
War's gonna be only a week.
I don't care how long you're gone, as long as you come back.
Every step we take is gonna be on a minefield from 100 different wars.
Odds are we're not all gonna make it out of this one.
If we don't take that city, World Trade Center is just the beginning. We're teaming up with the general of the Northern Alliance that we know nothing about. General, you show me exactly where we're going.
Over the mountains. We take horses.
All right, who's ridden before? Anyone?
Summer camp when I was 9.
Spring break, but I was pretty hammered. Does it have a name? The name!
Great, this will be fun. We're outnumbered. 50,000 Taliban and Al-Qaeda fighters. We're on our own.
I can't order anyone to do this.
You want to surrender?
Keep your finger on the trigger.
Stay there.
Oh, God.
There's
no playbook here. We're gonna have to write it ourselves.
I ain't losing one man on this team.
You could stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
We're fighting with horsemen against tanks.
The greatest weapon in history is this. There ain't no easy way out.
If you die, that's a letter you and your wife are gonna wish you wrote.
I made her a promise. I'm coming home.
Won't back down.
12 Strong, the declassified true story of the horse soldiers.